catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
So there's been an amazing demonization of Ron Paul for reading the newspaper, I guess. Jerusalem Post and others admit Israel set up Hamas as a counterbalance to the Iranian Hezbollah. They demonized him in a TV ad. Huntsman did other TV ads saying he's crazy for saying that plot was obviously made up to have some used car salesman kill the ambassador. But there were just countless analysts not just Colonel Shaffer on TV. The former head of the Bush administration's unit on Iran said it was preposterous. So I guess the mainstream media counts on people being dumb to sit there and tell them that Ron Paul's crazy when all he's doing is repeating what most of the Joint Chiefs of Staff have said, what the former head of the Israeli Mossad said when Netanyahu fired him last year. For me, knowing basic news, Ron Paul's just mainline common sense, Colonel Shaffer.
Let me point out 2 points to back you up on this. First, if you recall, everybody who was supposedly briefed on the classified information on this plot said, "Oh, you're going to see more coming out over the next few weeks showing that we're correct." Have you seen a single follow-up article showing that this was that this was true? Not a one. So that premise that it was something more to it has been proven false by the administration's own failure to provide additional clarification and evidence. So there you go, first point. Second point is that look, I've talked to Bruce Fein. I consider Bruce Fein a close friend. Bruce is one of Ron Paul's senior advisors, and from talking to Bruce and others, Paul is trying to actually get what he believes out to be what is fact, not what is propaganda, but is fact. And I got to tell you, from talking to Bruce and others, there's no doubt that Ron Paul would use military force in a very severe way against our adversaries when you have clear intel indicating that something's going on. But Alex, you and I both know the intelligence community has been politicized by whoever is in charge. The Bush White House, the Obama White House, doesn't matter. You have people who are policy types trying to forge intelligence around the policy instead of the other way. Paul is trying to get it to be where it was, where you take the intel and you make your decisions based on the intel, not on what your wishful thinking based on your political perspective is. And I think that's what the issue is when Ron Paul is getting slammed.
Well, he certainly is. It looks like the media, all the other politicians are getting behind a strike on Iran. In closing, what's the time frame that we could see this escalate, or briefly, what are a few of the ways that things could get triggered here?
Well, any miscalculation regarding the military, you could see a exchange of fire, which could escalate quickly. The thing is, I think the Iranians clearly would still lose in that scenario. The Iranians want to have a nuclear weapon system which is deliverable. That is to say that they could use. They're not there yet, Alex. So we're talking, I think we're going to see saber rattling for another 6 months. We're talking about the fall before the Iranians actually have something that could be used to deliver a nuclear device. So I think we're talking about saber rattling through the spring, unless a miscalculation occurs. But I think we're going to be revisiting this very seriously towards the fall once a delivery system is available to them. So I predict more saber rattling unless somebody loses their cool and does something bad, at least through the summer.
But right on time, that's the October surprise, and that would help Netanyahu in an election. If the war was happening right then, it would help Obama. People rally around the government when there's a war, even if the war is a fraud. In fact, that's the word I'm getting, is that they've been looking at it, but that it could be an October surprise.
I agree with your assessment, Alex. That could well be the case.
Wow. Well, Colonel Shaffer, I look forward to having you back up soon via Skype. I know you're going to be on with Judge Andrew Napolitano later in the week, breaking this down more. OperationDarkHeart.com, your best-selling book, breaking so much of what happened in Afghanistan down. Thanks for spending time with us.
Great. Thank you, Alex.
All right, there goes Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer. We're going to come back, hit other news. Wayne Madsen to give us his perspective on Iran, and he's another very well-read person on that front coming up. I want to get into some of the election news, Ron Paul news, New World Order news straight ahead. We'll do that. I also want to recap first some of the other Iran news. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Kurt Nemo's article. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. Did you ever think you'd be where you are a decade into the 21st century? Record foreclosure rates for homes, if not yours, your neighbors. Thankful for the unemployment check since you were laid off. And placing your child's name on the angel tree in hopes of a Christmas gift, along with thousands of other Americans. Did you ever think your future would feel this out of control? The fact is, in all this craziness, there's only one thing you can control. Your greatest dependency, your food supply. Make 2012 the year you take control by getting prepared. eFoods Direct introduces the best way to build your food supply in the 21st century. Get a 21-day supply of food free with purchase. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Take back control in 2012. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Remember, you can bet your life on eFoods Direct. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Obama has announced that he wants an internet ID. Of course, Microsoft has already set up all their new computers for years with that. And soon it won't be a thumbprint or even a special number. It will be a face scan. And they're coming out with the new mouse-driven systems on the new Windows system where you don't have a mouse, your eyes control it. And the Microsoft Kinect video game face scans you and voice prints you. Face scanning to buy and sell. That has been the big global consortium plan all along. You will scan your hand or your face. And, of course, the churches say that's not the mark of the beast. They say it's going to be a mark in the face or in the hand. Well, what do you think your own biometric outline basically is. But even if God didn't exist, the point is the globalists are trying to play God by setting all of this up. We do have the article by Kurt Nimmo that breaks down the fact that if a war does kick off with Iran, it could lead to a World War III type scenario. War in the Middle East now appears imminent as the United States, Britain, and the European Union and Israel put the finishing touches on an embargo of Iran, a de facto declaration of war. See, that's one thing. Iran may be forced into this. And warships steam towards the Persian Gulf. Consider the following recent developments. U.S.-Israel war game in Persian Gulf. On Friday, the U.S. and Israel announced they plan a massive military exercise in the Persian Gulf in an attempt to confront Iran, in their own words. The exercise, dubbed Austere Challenge 12, and they're going to make Iran austere, cutting off half their fuel, will include the participation of thousands of U.S. and Israeli soldiers and will test multiple air defense systems against incoming missiles and rockets for when Iran's attacked. And it'll be on the media. How dare Iran fire back? Only the worst fire back. Now I've seen police in the U.S. type it in. Police chief says fetal position assault on officer. They actually say if you get in a fetal position, it's assault and it's resisting. So, I mean, if they walk up and say, open your shirt, I'm shooting you with a shotgun. If you don't say, thank you, God, open it and say, kill me, and then say, I worship you 5 times, then you're evil. I mean, of course, I'm being absurd here, but that's how ridiculous this has gotten. A few months ago, they were kicking people and pepper spraying them balled up protesters, and they said, yeah, well, that's what they deserve. That's a form of resistance. Ah, yes, you're supposed to say, here's my teeth, kick them out. They're like, good, you get a medal. Knock your teeth out. Don't worry, the bankers are going to knock your dollar out and knock you out with sodium fluoride. Everybody gets to get hurt here in the New World Order. On January 2nd, during the last military exercise, Iran tested the Qadir missile, a long-range sea-to-shore missile, and the surface-to-surface Noor missile. The Noor is an advanced radar-evading, target-seeking, guided, and controlled missile. Can easily find its target and destroy it, IRNA reported. Iran has announced a new war game, and that's going to coincide with British warships, U.S. and Israel, including destroyers that are now all converging in the area. French and Russian warships are off Syria, basically threatening each other. Ron Paul points out that sanctions are the first step to war. These are serious blockades and embargoes are about to set up. Oil prices have already risen to $113.20 a barrel because of this. Iran missile-based propaganda. Now that Iran's Ahmadinejad is visiting Latin America, the discredited rumor that Iran is building intermediate-range missile launch pads at a base on the peninsula in Venezuela has resurfaced. It was initially floated by the German newspaper Die Welt and subsequently boosted by the Jerusalem Post, a documented neocon propaganda operation. The Post posted the story as well. The story brings to mind the Cuban Missile Crisis of October '62, but those were real missiles. According to Die Welt's story, the Iranians paid tens of millions in cash for the base that would be used to fire missiles in the United States. After Iran is attacked, it was reported the Revolutionary Guard-controlled engineering group Khatam al-Anabi is helping build the site. And it just goes on from there. Now, look at this article here out of the Washington Post that I just mentioned. Obama wants Internet ID. FCC's head proposed broadband reform as well, and that the Internet ID people to, quote, make the biggest users pay. They say you're making it cost more for those that don't use as much. This is how they always sell new taxes, consumption taxes this way. Globalist corporate taxes to companies, you name it. It's been high-tech driving this economy that would be in a complete cardiac arrest for the last 14 years or so, 13 years or so, since 99, if we didn't have this high-tech economy. And to let government put taxes on the internet, which they're starting to push at state and federal level and international, and to let corporations start charging you more. You already get charged more for the type of connection or data plan you get on a cell phone, on a computer, any of this. You're already paying for it. But how did they start in the 20s? With driver's license,